Welcome to Bootstrapped Unicorns. I'm your host, Josh Pies, and this is the show where scrappy founders, rebellious visionaries, and business misfits pull back the curtain on what it really takes to build something extraordinary from absolutely nothing. No trust fund, no fairy god investor, just grit, duct tape, caffeine. Yeah, and that dream. We're talking about the wild, unfiltered ride of turning chaos into cash flow and ideas into impact. So buckle up. This is no Disney movie, but there might be some magic. Let's face it, even Elon started in a garage. So without further ado, let's get to the next episode. Welcome to Bootstrapped Unicorns, presented by C47 Digital Studios. Bootstrapped Unicorns, we're back for another episode. This one is a hot takes episode. It's going to come in hot and fast. But I'm going to remind you, we are a sponsored show. The sponsor is my own company, C47 Digital Studios, C47films.com. This is the company that allows us to have this podcast, right? I'm here because I'm passionate about entrepreneurs and your journey and your success, but I can have a podcast and do this because we are a video podcast production company. So if you're like, hey, Josh's show is kind of cool, I wish I could do that, or I wouldn't want to do it in that format, but I still like the podcasting idea, we can help you figure out how to really own your own voice and do some really great business development strategies so you can have your own show and do some awesome things for your business. Now, I've recently met a cool dude named Tyson I'm going to introduce you to in a moment, but something that I love about all entrepreneurs, and he is one, is that there's a passion and a story behind almost everyone that I've met. Very rarely do I meet somebody who doesn't have a journey worth talking about when they're an entrepreneur. And I want you to pay a little bit of extra attention to, and we're not going to do a long episode here. You know, it's a hot takes episode, but we're going to take a minute to dive into his hot take because his journey is very real. And I'll bet somebody listening today needs to hear that there's light at the end of the tunnel and it's not a train. And I promise you, he's going to tell you about it right now. So Tyson Lerfald, very cool dude. I'm so glad I know you. How are you today?
Hey, Josh. Hey, first of all, thanks for having me. I'm great. Hey, I'm above ground and live and well.
All right. Above ground is actually kind of a bare minimum. And at the same time, it's a victory every day for people. So I like how you brought that to the surface. So Tyson, how long have you been an entrepreneur? How long have you been in business for yourself?
I've owned multiple businesses. My current businesses right now is YoBot, and then I've got another app constructor, and we're building onto this. This started about 6 months ago.
Yeah, I knew it was young. I knew it was very young. And
you bet.
On your way into this, there's been all sorts of story happening, and I think this is where your hot take actually comes from. If you were to summarize what your hot point is, what would that be?
Man, it's been a road. It's been a road to get here, and there's a road ahead of me, and I'm well aware of that, and I'm accepting the challenge. I had a rough 3.5, 4 years of my life that I would love to share with other people, and hopefully, if they're going down this road or they're there, listen close because there is hope at the end of the tunnel. I had so much stuff that was crashing on me that was out of my control. Custody battle and a lot of friends dying, grandma died, and my other business, I was not able to fully partake in that anymore because I was so broken. I was so hurt. The number one thing was my daughter, who is the most amazing thing and is in my life that not seeing her ate me alive. I went from go, and to I can't even explain how broken I was. And then I hit the bottle, and then that really destroyed me. And
let me pause you for a second. So there was a lot of crisis happening in your life through loss of loved ones and support system. Your business is struggling at that time. What was your business back then?
I had a semi-trailer dealership with a full service and repair shop. We built custom semis. We had a good thing going.
It sounds actually rather cool.
Yeah, we were successful. It was my brother and I, and he kind of had the same thing going on with his daughter. She moved away with her, and it was just, it was hard. It was really, really hard. And I wasn't able to gather myself because I was hurt so badly. I was so broken, and it really paralyzed me from doing a lot of things. Looking at it now, it's like, why didn't I just stop? And it's easier said than done when you're in the middle of it.
So
And
another thing I want to pause you on here, because the story is heartbreaking, and I think I'm with you, but I want to fill in some small gaps here. So you've got this big business, and it was with your brother. You're doing great. A lot of things are happening, and you both lost access to your children.
yeah, she moved away about 4 hours to Minneapolis. She got remarried, and he got mad at the world, and I got very sad.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was both of us, and we owned a lot of properties and a lot of dollars, and it was just looking back on it now. It's just like, how did you just let everything go? But it's easier said than done. When
If
you're
you could
going
talk
through.
to yourself now, your future self, you're talking to your older self in those moments where you wish you had done something. What would you have done? What could you have done?
There's a lot of things, and that is a good question, and it's not the easiest to answer either. Because I was just talking about this the other day with someone, and what I would have done is hit that bottle as hard as I did, and that was my. I guess looking back on it, I wasn't trying to disguise or push stuff away. That was the only way that I guess was, and then it became a habit. And I was so down, and I just cried every day. I cried a lot for a long time, and you know I would have self-reflected a lot. I would have had a big come to Jesus with me myself and dig deep, and find out what I needed to do, and how do I get around this? How do I minimize this? COVID came along, and I couldn't get in the courtroom for 9 months. So they prolonged. By that time, I was a mess, and I was so hurt. And please, people, if you're going through hard times, and you're going down these paths that you don't choose to be on, they bring you there. Please take a pause and really dig deep within yourself, and find your a next dream, or start slow. What whether it's getting to the gym daily, or doing something to stay healthy, and keep your mind free instead of sitting there and dwelling on it. Because I look back now, I let all this own me. I let it, just because that's what I did. I didn't know any. It's hard to explain, but please don't go there, please, because
Well, Tyson, you're on the other side of this right now, and I know there's always a road to keep walking, but you did it. So what did you do to start snapping out of the place that you were in? Because I mean, we've talked before. I know you're sober, you're building business, you're in good relationship with your partner for your business, and your peers and your friends. Like, things are shifting, and
correct.
something happened. What the heck was it?
You know what happened? I had enough. And I said, I knew that I wasn't going to kick this at this point on my own. I knew that I had to get away from all my friends and my phone ringing, and I needed to sober up and get sober up safely, and have what I was just saying is a deep come to Jesus with myself, a deep conversation, and go somewhere where I'm not preoccupied, and I don't have that option. And I did that. I went to Betty Ford for 30 days, and I came out of there, and I never looked back. And I've never had a drink, and never wanted to. And it's amazing. Josh, I can look at myself in the mirror, and I love who I am. I love myself. I love being this guy. And I don't know that I've ever been able to do that before. And it is a huge breath of fresh air. It's so humbling. life is so amazing. My life is better than it's ever been. And I got a long ways to go, with a lot of things, but it's amazing. I learned so much, that road that I had to go down, it was awful. It was the best learning experience I've ever been given. I've gotten so much out of it, and I still do. I see myself doing different things, and I'm like, wow, I love who I've transformed into. I had to go through a lot
I'm
to get there.
grateful for you, and I love that. And I got to ask, so you said you went to Betty Ford for 30 days.
Correct.
And you came out the other side with big decisions that you made, and here you are. And we're going to get to your business in just a second, because we got to honor the clock a little bit today. But it strikes me that there is a probability, pretty high one, that you might have struggled with fear of people's perceptions, because the words Betty Ford come with some connotations in our culture. They're great. They're a miraculous organization if you're able to dial back and see them for who they are. But we also know comedians for a long time have actually leveraged it as a punchline.
Right.
And so did you have fear about admitting that you needed to go as far as going to Betty Ford? And if you did, how did you get yourself in the door?
At that point, I didn't have any fear. I was ready.
Really?
I honestly didn't. I did it on my own. I made the decision. And don't be scared. It's nothing. I had it wasn't miserable. I met a lot of great people, a lot of people that, people think that it's a bunch of, crazy people or what. It's not. It's normal people. And you just got to get there and take it in. Don't, anything in life is only as bad as you make it. We're all guilty of certain circumstances in our life that we dwell on them, and we get ourselves worked up about how bad it sucks, or I hate my job, or what. We're making it worse on ourselves. I was devoted to going in there. I was devoted to coming out a changed man, and I knew it wasn't going to be just boom, here I am. There's a growth period afterwards, and I'm going to continue, the rest of my life to go down, through this growth, and it's amazing. It truly is. And my goals are a lot higher. I'm dedicated, devoted to hitting goals, and I'm busy with work. I don't have time to go do, and it's awesome. I work, and I enjoy it. I don't have this stuff in the background that's bothering me, and I'm not letting things bother me. I deflect things. I don't take things that don't matter, and I deflect them. And those are the types of things I've really came out of and changed who I am. I'm not insecure. I don't have these things where I'm kind of, doing this, and I can stand proudly. And it's, like I said, it is an amazing feeling. And I hope,
I love that.
If some of you are going down this road or are there, and please, we'll on the next one, we're going to get deeper into it. And I'd love to touch some of you guys and steer you away, or hopefully impact you, with my story. There is hope out there, and you gotta take it and embrace what's brought you down, destroy it, and be above it. And it's an enjoyment doing that.
So
it really is.
Now that you're enjoying actively rising above your challenges, I know you're an entrepreneur again, and I want to get to that. So you're about 6 months into this whole new app development programming thing that you and your business partner are working on. And why Why did you choose to go back into business for yourself? Some people would just go get a job, so it's less pressure. Entrepreneurship ain't easy. And so
No,
you're right back in the fray doing something that ain't easy, which I would do the same thing. I'm wired that way. So maybe it's just how you're wired, but I'm interested, like why go down this road and then tell me what you're doing.
that's how I'm wired as well.
Okay.
I love being challenged. I have to challenge myself or be challenged or have some sort of goal, because if they're realistic, I'm going to get them. I was an athlete too, and I'm very competitive. I love business. I love it. I love it. And, when I was coming out of this and starting to get back and working and I tried the working for someone else and it was hard. I've been on my own for so long, and I didn't have control of my destinies, and it wasn't the money, because I was offered very, very good positions, and I tried some of them and I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed business. I enjoyed owning businesses and being able to control and dissect what's working, what's not working. That's what I enjoy, and I enjoy the challenge, and I
And what is your
enjoy
challenge right now then? So I know the term's YoBot, but it doesn't necessarily, like so many businesses, like what is Apple? Well, it's actually a computer. It's called an Apple. Like, not every business is named what it is. We're not podcastcompany.com. We're C47,
right.
right? What is YoBot?
YoBot started. It's kind of funny. My partner and I had started another business, and he was going to help me out, and we sat down and we were going to build a bot to help us with this company, and we started doing it. I was like, why the hell aren't we selling these things? And so that's where it started it. And we got into like, holy shit, this thing is powerful. We went all in and full automation, and it does everything pretty much. It predicts the future. It does, gets all your leads. It scores your leads. It calls all your leads. It sounds like a human. It documents on the AI, captures and stores data for as far as the sentiment of their tone of voice, length of the call, questions they may have asked, their mood, and it stores all this into a database, and then it scores your leads from 0 to 100 on. So you got cold leads, you got hot leads, warm leads, and it calls continuously. One after another, and then it'll schedule if you need to call back, if you need to send an email, it'll send that email. If you need to send documents, it does all that. It does your invoicing, your quoting. I literally, and so I got really familiar with AI and how all this works, and I had another idea, constructor. I got a construction app for construction guys, contractors, plumbing, heating, roofers, service companies like that does a lot of this stuff on an app, on a little lower, but it does your invoice, your estimating. It take a picture and it tells you what a part is. You take a picture of a room and give it, we got to sheetrock this room, and it measures it out. It goes by your area's labor rates and standard, how much time it should take you, and you can modify that. It plans your routes. It adds your mileage into the estimate. And this is a $49 to $100 app per month app that does all this stuff for you, and it's very powerful. And this, guys, get into AI. If you don't get into AI now, it's going to bulldoze you for real.
It is not a joke, man. We use a ton of it here, and I love I've done a lot of time in the construction world, and the app you're describing is gonna be popular. That's very cool.
It is. And we just kind of scratched the surface on some of the items there, and it's cheap. It's very, very, very good tool for, contractors. And that's going to be launching here, hopefully in a couple weeks. I'll have a free trial deal going out for a month, and everyone can try it out, and it's a good tool. If you got let's say if you got a roofing job and the weather looks like it's going to rain or something, it'll suggest right on your phone, do you want to swap this job with this job? Because it's raining, and I mean it takes all the background and the administrative work out of it, so you can have bookable hours, billable hours. So
That is really cool. Where people are going to find that? What's the URL for that?
go to Constructor. It's CONSTRUKTR.ai is the website. It'll be available here in like I said, hopefully in a couple of weeks on the Apple and Google Play Store to download, and we will be having a through Meta, I believe, is where you can get onto a list to get the free trial here when it comes out. So we're working out those details here. So yeah, it's exciting. I was in the construction world as well, and I look at this thing, I'm like, wow, this thing is crazy. Get into AI if you're not already. At least start.
Well, it seems like you're a good person to follow when it comes to AI prowess. So, do you have a social media presence that our audience can go follow?
Yes, I've got both Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, Constructor. Again, it's CONSTRUKTR, and YoBot, YoBot. I've got pages on there. Go ahead.
Well, it's all in the show notes. Reese is going to have everything in the show notes for us. So go into the show notes, find all of his links. And we're going to honor the time today and make sure that we keep this as a hot takes episode. But let me just pause for a moment and just say, Tyson, I think I can say definitely for myself, but on behalf of the listeners who I know our listeners have big hearts, we're grateful that you have overcome and you are so clear that this is worth sharing. I hope you continue to inspire people by just being really vulnerable and just saying, hey, this was me and this might be you. And there's hope. The message of hope should be universal, but I think a lot of people are afraid of it because of how social media can treat people. And you're a brave one. And so thank you for that. And then just everybody go just check out his URLs. I personally am going to be checking out Constructor. I've got to learn more about it. I don't need it. I just think it's cool. So good on you for creating that. And then Unicorns, thank you for tuning in once again. As you know, I have no clue who's going to be on the next episode. I don't even watch my own calendar. What I do know is we have a rule. Somebody of value has to come on the show to drive value to you. And so next episode, I promise you, the value proposition is still there. This is a show for entrepreneurs, by entrepreneurs, so that you can get a new actionable point of intel, you can get a little inspiration, and you can move forward this week with more confidence and clarity than you were last week. That's the whole game. Now, stop listening to me and get back to work.